yes, the states are permitted to add 15% to the copyrighted standards. However, students will not be assessed on that additional 15%, so the likelihood that they will be changed is probably nil. And much in the same way the teachers, if they're going to be evaluated based on the standards, and why would they spend a lot of time teaching about other stuff if they're going to be evaluated based on what's in those standards? So again, that's, in effect, it creates a vice. The assessments and the standards married together creates a vice into which there's not a lot of latitude for curriculum. Yes, we can. But you need to be. You're limited. I would say you have fingertip control, but not functional.
Representative Hayes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Representative Thompson, thank you for your testimony today. My question needs a little bit of background. I'm looking specifically at some of the language in your bill, and my question may sound like I'm anti your bill, and I'm not. The question has to do with this language and how it might be interpreted in the future. At lines 17 and 18, the bill says, any action taken to adopt or implement the Common Core state standards as of the effective date of this section are void. And that's really, in short terms, that sounds like Common Core will be stopped in its tracks when this is adopted. But it says any actions taken prior to then would be determined to be void. My concern, whether it's this bill or any other bill coming before us, is saying prior actions are determined to be void. In this case, I suppose you're talking about the actions of the Ohio Department of Education to adopt rules or standards relating to Common Core, local boards, local administrative actions, that type of thing. But I think it would also include Ohio Department of Education contracts entered into, or local contracts entered into related to implementing Common Core. I'm going to get to my question in a second here. My concern with this, like I say, whether it's your bill or another one, is the Ohio Constitution has a provision that says the General Assembly shall have no power to pass retroactive laws or laws impairing the obligation of contracts. So my concern is, if there are contracts out there that have been entered into by the state or local school districts or ESCs or whomever they may be, if we stop those dead in their tracks, it sounds like you could have a constitutional problem with the bill. Have you addressed that at all? That's the question.
Well, again, that's a question that we kind of work with LSC to try to make sure that we're not doing something that is triggering constitutional concerns. I did not get a memo from them saying this would trigger any kinds of constitutional concerns, so I don't know whether they want to comment at this point. They do not. I am not a constitutional attorney. I do not put it on TV. But I'm certainly glad to look at your concern, Representative Hayes, and to consult with the appropriate authorities to make sure that we accomplish what I seek to do, which is to halt Common Core so that Ohio can have the conversation on standards and, frankly, assessments and all that in the wake of this stuff.
Okay. Representative Bischoff.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Representative Thompson.